All right, let's get right into it. If you're working in law or in research right now, you might be feeling, well, a bit weird. AI is just exploding, and it can feel like the ground is constantly shifting under our feet. So, this explainer is for you. It's about how to find your new, absolutely irreplaceable value in this new world.
First, let's just face a hard truth. AI systems are getting so fast, so broad, that no human, I don't care how hard you work, can keep up with their raw ability to just process information. And the writer I'm drawing from for this explainer puts it perfectly. That's not laziness on our part. It's just arithmetic. It's simple math.
So, it's really tempting to frame this whole thing as a race. Us against the machine. Can I learn faster? Can I research more? But here's the problem. If we're competing purely on speed and data crunching, that is a race we just cannot win. The machine is always going to get faster. But what if we're running the wrong race entirely? Here's the key idea that so many people miss. Our value as professionals, as human beings, was never only about being the best calculator or the fastest database. We've been focusing on the wrong part of the story. So this is not about us becoming obsolete. Not even close. It's about a great human pivot. Our value isn't vanishing. It's just shifting to a set of skills that are more durable, more necessary, and frankly, more human than ever. Let's break down what that really looks like. Okay, for example, think about a judge. Does a judge remember every single case precedent better than a massive legal database? Of course not. On pure recall, the machine wins hands down. But we don't replace judges with databases, do we? Or how about a surgeon? An advanced medical scanner can spot tiny patterns in an MRI that the human eye might just skim over. When it comes to raw pattern detection, yeah, the machine probably has the edge. And one more for you. A teacher. Can any single teacher possibly store more raw information than the entire internet? It's not even a fair fight. On pure data storage, we're completely outmatched. So, if we're getting beat on all these core tasks, why are these people still so essential? Well, it's because that's not their real job. Their real job is what you see right here. They decide. They interpret things that are messy and unclear. They reassure a worried patient or a struggling student. And this is the big one. They bear responsibility. They act with moral consequence. A database can't do that. A scanner can't do that. Okay, so this brings us right to the heart of our new value. In a world drowning in AI-generated answers, there are these specific domains where human intelligence doesn't just survive, it becomes even more precious. Let's walk through 5 of them. First up, judgment, making the tough calls when the data is incomplete. Second, legitimacy and trust, being the person who can stand behind a decision and defend it. Third, moral courage, having the guts to say no, even when it's inefficient. Fourth, relational intelligence, reading a room, mentoring someone, persuading a team. And finally, number 5, taste, knowing the difference between something that's just okay and something that's truly excellent. So think about it this way. If AI makes answers cheap and abundant, what suddenly becomes the rare, valuable skill? It's this. It's choosing what matters, deciding what's acceptable, taking responsibility, and actually turning all that machine intelligence into real action in the real world. We're shifting from producing information to acting responsibly. Okay, so much for the theory. What does this actually mean for you in your career, like tomorrow? Let's get practical and look at the actual skills you need to be building right now. Here it is. This is your new toolkit. Number 1, get better than everyone else at framing the problem. 2, verify everything ruthlessly. Become the most skeptical person in the room. 3, be the translator between the tech and the humans. 4, build a reputation for solid, reliable judgment. And 5, always stay connected to the real-world consequences of your work. Let's just zoom in on that first skill for a second, framing the problem. Look at the difference here. Asking a big, lazy question like, tell me about ESG enforcement, gets you, well, a generic, lazy answer. But asking a sharp, surgical question like the one on the right, wow. The person who can ask that question is still incredibly dangerous in the best possible way. And as for that second skill, verifying, look, in a world where AI can spit out plausible-sounding nonsense in a split second, your entire professional edge might just come down to your refusal to be intellectually sloppy. You'll be the person who checks the sources, who pushes back, who separates the signal from all the noise. That skill is going to be like gold. When you put it all together, all these skills and these domains, they all point toward one single unifying goal. This is the real key to future-proofing your career. It's not just about what you can do, it's about who you become. The end game is to be a high-trust human. And this is what that person looks like. They have these 5 assets. They have deep expertise in a real field. They know how to use AI to orchestrate it, not just follow it. They have that ruthless evidence discipline we just talked about. They have public credibility. People know what they stand for. And finally, they have what you might call human gravity. Character, reliability, someone who's steady under pressure. So you see, the future isn't about trying to outrun the machine. That race is over. The battle to memorize everything the machine knows, we already lost. No, the future belongs to the person who can stand right next to the machine, look at what it produced, and provide that uniquely human layer of judgment. The person who can say, "This is the right question." They're the ones who set the agenda and focus all that incredible computing power on something that actually matters. This evidence is solid. We can trust it. They're the ones who uphold the standards of truth in a world that's about to be flooded with synthetic information. This conclusion is defensible both intellectually and ethically. They're the ones who take responsibility for where the analysis leads. And maybe the most important one of all, this person, their rights, their dignity must not be crushed just for the sake of efficiency. That right there, that is moral courage. And let's be absolutely clear, this new role, asking the right questions, checking the facts, protecting people, this is not some second-place consolation prize for losing to the robots. The source material for this explainer just nails it with this line. That is not a consolation prize. That is civilization. So I'll leave you with a direct question. The theory is nice, but what matters is what you do next. It's time to actually design your anti-obsolescence plan. So looking at your work, your skills, your reputation, what are your concrete moves for the next 3 years to make sure you become that high-trust human?